Hello, I'm Ali,
I'm Deb.
and welcome to another episode of Connected Conversations. Hello, welcome back to what seems to be the end of our summer. I find with the Labor Day weekend, it is that last ditch bit of summer air and summer vibe. So Deb and I want to take some time to reflect and give you this opportunity as well to reflect on some great questions about your summer and and how you want to lean into that fall weather as you get in. So I know for myself, I can go very quickly in the direction that I want to go and often forget to recognize my success, recognize areas where I had opportunity to grow, and just celebrate more of what I have been doing. So I have put a huge focus on that this year as part of my flow cycle of how can I reflect, because there's so much power, I think, of reflecting and looking back, not to dwell on the past, though just to highlight these moments. So that's our conversation today. How can you reflect on the summer? We're going to give you some great journal prompts that you can review, and we'll go through our summer. So, Deb, what are some reflection questions or things that you like to reflect on as we embark on a new season coming up and kind of honor that season lived?
Yeah, that's a great question in itself. What are some questions that you want to ask yourself? But I think for me, what were parts that I really enjoyed? And I think for me, this past summer, just on a more personal level, last year my partner was going through cancer treatment. Summer was not necessarily that fun. So, I think it's all in your perception of where you're at. So this summer, we've packed it full of stuff. He's feeling really great. And so it's just been enjoying, and I know I've said it before, but those small moments around a campfire, just being near water, having your health, being able to go to the beach and just enjoy yourself. He was last summer he was very ill and didn't have a lot of energy. So just seeing him in a new light and being able to just enjoy those experiences together and not having to worry about how he's feeling, because I know he's feeling pretty good. And just creating those memories. We tried to get away a lot last year, but whenever he wasn't in treatment. But again, he still wasn't feeling well. So I think this summer has been just enjoying creating those memories because he is feeling better. So that for me has been just going to the cottage, being around water, taking the dog on a hike, visiting friends. We didn't do that a lot last year. So all those memories that are created, and he's so great because he always takes so many pictures. So I love looking back on the pictures, and he has them on his I don't know, the Google Nest or like whatever in his house. So they're constantly going through or changing pictures. And it's like, oh yeah, that was so much fun. We did that. So for me, it's been just creating memories and spending time, a lot of time with family and friends. What about you?
I think for myself, it's honoring that slowness to go a little bit more quickly and that rest period in between. So I am someone, if I get into the flow of work, it's almost like I don't want to stop because the ideas are going, things are flowing, especially if I'm in that zone. And it takes a lot of grit for me to pull back sometimes and totally disconnect because my mind is so active and I'm constantly thinking and creating. I've spent July off of social media to give myself that break. You and I have honored some breaks that weren't,
Mhm.
let's say, planned. And that's just working with our body rhythms. And that's what I've wanted to honor. So I feel really great about practice what I preach, like rest, recovery are my biggest peak performance secrets, I think. So incorporating that more in my daily life and not
Mhm.
just on weekends or when I feel too burnt out. So that's been a huge one. And as well as finding clarity in the contrast.
Mhm.
So when things aren't working out, how did I find more clarity instead of, again, you can reflect on the past. It's not about dwelling on things that maybe didn't go right, but how could there be more clarity in where we want to go? And giving myself permission to have some more fun and not feeling bad about, okay, oh, I'm not working or I'm not doing everything that maybe I could for my business and blah, blah, blah. And that was a huge win. And I say like say no to stuff I don't want to do. I have a bit of FOMO. I love doing things. However, I did find over the course of my lifetime, I'd be saying yes to things that I know that it wasn't like a total, yeah, like I want to do this. I was doing it just because I didn't want to let people down
Sure.
or whatever, like whatever story I was creating and just being like, no, it's like I just don't want to. And that's fine. So saying no and not feeling bad. So there's like a lot this summer that came to just enjoying time. Like
I
you
like
were saying, like the essence, like enjoying time.
I like that question or that reflection on maybe there was some contrast that you experienced during the summer. Maybe things didn't necessarily go the way that you wanted them to, but what did you learn from it? How can you grow from it? And how can you adjust your sales the next time you might experience something like that? I think that's another good journal prompt on the reflections of summer. Maybe there's an experience that you didn't like, and why didn't you like it? And like dig deeper on that, not just like, oh, this happened and I didn't really like it. This happened and it caused me to feel this, and why did I feel that way? I think those are good reflection questions to ask as well.
Mm, I love that. And I think, well, yeah, like getting onto that memory bank because we've had COVID for so many, it seems like an eternity. I think there was like 2 summers for sure. And now having this year, I found for myself, how do I get back into a social life that isn't like a crazy social life? Because COVID slowed down my lifestyle so much. Like I've been working on that happy medium of still having time alone, time to reflect and do what I want to do and still go out and be part of society because I almost recluse for so long. And now like it's finding that new balance. Like I don't think that we're going back to a new like that old norm. I don't feel society is going that way. So it is managing those social expectations to some degree. And that's been a practice for me this year is how do I manage social engagements and expectations? Because I do enjoy more of my own time and I honor that differently than I think I've ever done. And I want to thank COVID for that because that was powerful for me to learn to be by myself.
I can relate to that. I'm a single mom, so I've had a lot of alone time when I don't have my kids. But COVID certainly brought that to the forefront a lot more. And over the summer, I think for me, it's been exploring new things to do. You know, the dinner and drinks thing. I've been there, done that, and don't get me wrong, I'm a foodie and I love to go to restaurants, but like more community driven events. Like what are some events happening around town? How can I support more local? That's been definitely, we've been enjoying some different festivals this summer, which is not something necessarily, big crowds are not necessarily my thing. But just exploring more local events, and that's been fun, just to, you know, just talking to other people that are at these events. Like we went to Rib Fest, we went to a blues festival. So it's been fun interacting with people who go every year, and you know, finding new events that are actually like a lot of fun and don't cost, some of them don't even cost any money. So that's been nice for the bank account too.
Mhm. Yeah, the local things and
Hmm.
catching that Sunday farmers market
Hmm.
and grabbing a coffee, or I've been getting out to the beach quite a bit. And we're so fortunate in Ontario. I think, well, wherever you are, there's just beautiful pockets everywhere. So that time in nature has been priority. And it's not just like a walk around the block or a nice to have, but
Hmm.
enjoying my own backyard, like back where I grew up, like Lake Huron sunsets are some of the best in the world. And taking again like
They're
being
rated
present
like in the top
with
10,
it.
I think.
Yeah, like it's and I like sometimes I don't think I always appreciated a great sunset growing up. However, now I'm enjoying the time in the moment. I think takes more grit for myself because of again like just having an active mind and oh there's this going on that. So getting back almost into that teenage spirit of when life was more at ease and time was just of the essence. Right now that's all we were living in. So getting back into that speed has been for myself so refreshing.
I love that. And fireflies. I love fireflies. Every time I see them, I feel like a little girl, and I don't know why. They're so stunning. They're actually pretty ugly if you catch one. But
Oh, really?
yeah, they're actually not beautiful, but they're the coolest little thing, and I've always loved them. And we used to catch them as kids. So when I see them now, lighting up the forest or bush, to me, it still brings me back to those memories where we'd have jars and catch fireflies. So um yeah, I just we'll have some journal prompts for you to consider, to reminisce about your summer. We hope that you've had a great summer and are enjoying the last few days left. For some of you in the States, you've already gone back to school, but next week we'll be talking about how to get into that back to school and work rhythm that comes with September for us here in Canada. Make sure you catch us on Tuesday, since we are going into a long weekend at 9 for an episode of Kickstarting Your Week with Ali and Deb. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We will be back next Thursday with another episode of Connected Conversations. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please share with your friends and rate and recommend on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. There will be links to more great resources in the description.